Hey folks, welcome back to Elemental Cartomancy. Coming on today to film a video and show you some decks that I've got recently. I was on holiday in Gran Canaria. It was a few weeks ago now, and I actually managed to find a wee metaphysical shop over there. In fact, I found two, to be fair, but there was one that had lots and lots of decks and stuff available, and I indulged because I was on holiday and I wanted to. So I wanted to share them, but before I kick off with or before I show you the decks that I got on holiday, I wanted to kind of add to my birthday haul video because I got a birthday present through. It came in the post, I think the day after I came back from holiday. And this was a really kind gift from my good friend Justin Michael. So let me just uh, share the table with you. It's the Celtic Tree Oracle, and this is a deck that's based on the Oghams, not a system that I've worked with before. So I'm excited to kind of get to know it and start working with it. The book seems really good. Um, it's got lots of information on on the Oghams. So I'm just kind of showing you Luis Rowan. This is the kind of information that we're getting for one of the cards. So you can see you're getting one, two, three pages. Yeah, a good 3 pages worth of information, and that's just on one card. Now, there's a card for every letter of the Ogham alphabet, so there's 25 cards. These are the backs of the card. You know, I might actually pop on this light because I think that's a wee bit better. You can see the colours a bit better here. These are the backs. Beautiful Celtic knot on this nice kind of a dark green background. Really, really nice. And we have like a tree for each card, and you know the Ogham is linked to that tree. So, for example, we've got birch, rowan, etc., alder. So this isn't going to be a detailed walkthrough of each deck that I'm showing you. I just wanted to kind of show you some of the cards in each deck. So the size, just to let you see the size of them actually, I think this is roughly a normal tarot size, just to give you a basis for comparison. So a fair bit bigger and larger, probably more kind of what you'd expect for an oracle. Um, And the cardstock is kind of like the everyday enchantment tarot. It's beautiful, like silky matte. And that's 25 is the last card, the sea. I think the sea is the only one that's not linked to a type of tree or wood. Um, so thanks very much, Justin. Really appreciated it, really kind gift, and I'm looking forward to digging into the Ogham system through that. Okay, so I got 4 decks when I was away on holiday. The first one that I'll show you is this one. Excuse me. So it's Baraja Oraculo del Occultismo, and I think it basically means the Occultism Oracle deck or Occult Oracle deck. It comes, so this is how it comes in the box. It's a sturdy box. Uses a lot of space, but um, this is a hardback book, which is pretty cool. It is all in Spanish, and my Spanish is, really poor, really, really basic. So I can kind of work out some things, but that's what Google Lens is for. Google Lens is quite good at, just uh, hold your camera over it and it translates everything for you. So the deck is, it's just an Oracle deck. It's not tarot or based on any particular system that we know, but there are kind of a different. The cards do fall into different categories. So we've got deities, the zodiac, and this is based on I think the Celtic zodiac or something. It's not the traditional zodiac that we're all familiar with. Spiritus, I think is spirits. Feelings, sentimentados. Uh, that's characters, and then this is like double symbolism, I think. So some of them have, fall into more than one category. It's not color coded or anything. It is a very colourful deck, though, I would say. These are the backs, and again, size comparison. Um, so roughly the same height as a tarot, but it's a bit less broad. Um, it's actually probably quite similar to your kind of older style TDM uh, decks in terms of size comparison. And this is the kind of a thing that we get. So the images, it's funny because you look at the box, um, the name of it even, occultism Oracle deck, and you think you're going to get something that's quite dark, quite I don't know. I was just expecting something different. Um, but these are the images. They almost look like kind of a like Disney style. Very colourful, very cartoonish. But I mean, nonetheless, they are really nice. It's just not what I was expecting. The backs, I showed you the backs, but I don't know if you can see if I kind of a tilt it in the light. The kind of a gold is reflective, which is quite cool. The Cuervo, I think that's crow or raven or something. Bio, the horse. So you can see we're getting different things with this. Now, once I get used to, the titles in terms of the translation, I'd imagine it's a deck that, you know, could quite easily be read intuitively, and I wouldn't necessarily need to go to the book for an explanation for the card. Although it does seem to, be a well thought out system, so I would quite like to learn to use it with the book. Salamander. I hope my thumb's covering up half the card now, does it? So yeah, that's the Occultism Oracle deck. The next one, I've got a couple of tarots that I got that I want to share. First one is the Afro-Brazilian Tarot. This is by Los Scarabeo. Beautiful artwork. Um, it's kind of a borderless or almost borderless. It just has this bottom border that, as you can see, the majors just have the number. They don't have actual titles. And then with the minors, we get we get the number and a symbol. So ace or one of chalices on this one. For the courts, get this kind of a thing. So this is for the page, the knight, queen. Not 100% sure what that symbol is at the bottom left there, but that's for the queen, and then for the king. So it is fully illustrated. Um, the images aren't necessarily what you would expect to see if you were used to like a Smith Waite um, deck. Some of them are really quite different in terms of how I would imagine they're to be interpreted. Um, it's based on the Yoruba religion of never sorry, did we Western Africa. That's terrible. Um, so like based on like the Orisha and stuff like that. I it's not some. I've got the Orisha Tarot by Andrew McGregor, and I really like it. That's another deck though that some of the images, they're quite different from what you would expect in terms of if you were used to the Rider-Waite Smith images. Um, so yeah, beautiful, beautiful cards. I don't know anything about who it is that the creators and the artist. So I'm not really qualified to comment on whether this does the that belief system justice. Um, so yeah, all that we get with it is a little white book. And I'm not sure. It might be that and even at that, this little white book it has different translations. So only a certain part of it is going to be in English, which means that for each card we're only getting basic keywords really. If I can show you. Yeah, so, and do you see how, so just looking down the cups there, right? Um, so the Two of Cups, love, happiness, Three of Cups, agreement, success, boredom, restlessness for the four, loss, fear, disappointment for the five, past. So the point that I'm making here is the interpretations that we see in this book are just your kind of a standard, to me, standard, Golden Dawn slash Smithwaite type interpretations. I'm not sure if they're particularly tailored to this deck. So it would be, I'm not sure whether I can get a separate book to go with this deck. But it would be quite nice to have something like that. See, like it said, boredom was a keyword for the of Cups, but I just don't see boredom being depicted there at all. Um, Loss, disappointment for the five. Again, I don't see it, you know, which I mean that's fine for the cards. I just don't think that the book necessarily matches the creator's intent very well. I think this has just been taken from like stock. Um, y- the book's not been the little white book has not been created with the deck in mind. It seems to be like a standard little white book that they probably use for different decks. That's what I'm trying to say. It's standard kind of a low Scarabeo card stock. It's not too glossy. It's quite nice. Reminds me of your make playing cards type card stock. Fair bit smaller than your standard tarot size. But it's nothing. When you're holding it, it just seems the same. So that's the Afro-Brazilian Tarot, and I didn't say who it was by. Alice Santana and Giuseppe Palumbo. Excuse my hands, by the way. Whenever the cold weather comes in, my hands get all kind of dry and stuff. So that's why they're kind of a cut in that. So apologies for that. Right, that's the Afro-Brazilian Tarot. The next one I want to show you, I believe that you can get this here. I thought it was called the um, Necromancer Tarot or the Necronomicon Tarot, but I was shown this in my live a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's actually something different. I think Robin might have said he had a walkthrough of this, Robin at Toadstool Tarot. Um, I said this during my live, and I'll say it again here. I'm not going to show all the images here. Some of them are kind of a disturbing, to be honest, they could be disturbing depending. Um, the Hanged Man card depicts someone being hung from the neck rather than by the foot, which is what we're used to for the Hanged Man. It's just something to be aware of if you're kind of a think they get in this deck. Check out the images first. I would kind of scrutinize them in detail before you get them. Otherwise, you might end up with a deck that at best you can't work with it, and it doesn't work for you. At worst, it might be quite triggering for some. So yeah, that's just something I would check out first. But it is fully illustrated. Again, some of the suits, seem quite. In fact, I think the cups is one of the suits that's in keeping with your kind of a standard Smithwaite images. So there you go. Two of Cups seems quite romantic. The Three of Cups seems like a good time. Four of Cups, he seems quite dissatisfied, and so on and so forth. But then when you come into some of the suits, Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, there we go. Two of Pentacles, like I don't that doesn't ring true for Two of Pentacles for me. Um, which is fine. The creator obviously had something in mind, but the only point that I'm making is that it's not your standard Smithwaite kind of a type deck. It diverges a wee bit from some of the standard images and meanings that we tend to associate. Um, let's see, the Two of Wands, again, not really 100% sure what's happening here, but this is another Low Scarabeo, and it's another one that comes with a little white book. Nine of Swords, looking in the mirror and seeing some sort of monsters turn back at you. I suppose that's quite cool. Anyway, so that's what is called here the Tarot del Necronomicon. And does it tell us who it's by? Not on the box. I can only see. Oh wait, actually, Michelle Penco is the name that's on the box. And like I say, Low Scarabeo. Um, one final deck to share with you, and it's actually an I Ching deck. Now, I saw this on the shelf and kind of I didn't even look back. I looked away and didn't look back. I just kind of a glanced at it, is what I'm saying, and never really thought twice about it. But my husband saw it and he's very interested in like Chinese history, Japanese history, lots of different things actually, to be fair. But in particular, he looked at this and thought, oh, that looks quite cool. Why don't you get that? And I was like, well, I Ching is different from tarot. It's not a system that I can read or that I'm used to. So I'm not really that interested in it, to be fair. Um, and he looked it up and he looked up some of the images and he thought, no, I think you'll quite like this. This does seem quite cool. It's based on like oh no, what's it called? Uh, Classical Chinese watercolor painting. Um, so he looked it up and showed me some of the images, and I thought, you know what, actually, I really like this, and obviously decided to get it. Um, these are the backs. Nice shade of red. Size comparison, it's about the same as a tarot size. And I'll just show you some of the images, but I'll probably actually do a walkthrough of this deck. Um, so there, do you see what I mean? Like the images are really stunning, and ultimately that was why I chose to get it. Now the I Ching is based on, we've got like 64 hexagrams. So the cards are numbered 1 to um, 64, but it's the permutations of the 8 trigrams. Okay, so we've got 8 trigrams. I know that the trigrams is like 3 lines, and then they put together to make a hexagram, which is the 6 lines. So you can see this is like a hexagram with 6 lines. The one in the bottom, the 3 solid lines there, is heaven. Can't quite remember what the one on the top is with the broken line at the bottom. But anyway, that's how the I Ching is made up. It's these permutations, 64 permutations of the 8 trigrams. Um, so yeah, the images are very simplistic but really beautiful. And yeah, it spoke to me. I saw some of the images on Sandy's phone and decided to go for it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of getting to working with the I Ching. I noticed after my live, funnily enough, Benny Wen was in my live, and her deck is the only other her tarot deck is the only other product that I have that has anything to do with the I Ching. It was my first kind of exposure to the I Ching, and I don't have anything else that has I Ching contained within it. Um, so I was Benny Bell happened to pop into my live and say hi when I was showing this deck. Um, so I said that, and I was talking about how I don't really know that much I Ching, but I'm hoping to learn more. Like, it must have been the day after or a couple of days after. I was on Amazon looking at books to add to my Christmas wish lists because my family and my husband's family both do Secret Santas, and we use like drawnames.com for it. So you can go on and add things to your wish list. And I was looking to add different books to my wish list, and I noticed that Benny Bell has um, a new book coming out on the I Ching. Um, so I thought that was quite cool, and I'm looking forward to getting that. Unfortunately, it doesn't come out until I think it might be May, if I remember correctly. So well after Christmas, so I wasn't able to use it for my Christmas wish list, but I'm still looking forward to it, and I'm excited for it. Now, this deck comes with I'd say a medium white book. It's kind of a more substantial than your kind of a little white book, and it does have some brilliant information on each of the cards. So there we go, like hexagram 30A opposition. So we're getting the kind of the main title of it, but then we're getting some good information on it as well. Um, so yeah, and one of the things that I'm in the process of doing, let's see if I can find it actually. It's here. So I love a cheat sheet. Um, so I've got on one side I've got the eight trigrams. So I said the three solid lines was heaven. Let's see, the broken line in the bottom is wind. So that one was wind over heaven because we had wind on the top and then the three solid lines of heaven on the bottom, right? Um, so here I've got an 8 by 8 uh, box structure. So the way I'm going to do it is like kind of a like heaven, and then like heaven, wind, and all the other ones. So you have like heaven over wind. Do you know what I mean? And I'll just have and that one we saw was opposition. So I'll just have like the keywords and just have them on this, so as I can see at a glance what the titles of the hexagrams are, and it will kind of help me work with it. If I can just like have one sheet where I have kind of the basics at least written down. Um, so yeah, I'm going to put all that information on there, and then I'm going to laminate it to keep it safe. And that's how that I'll keep that there. I've got some laminated sheets that I've got, some other cheat sheets that I've got. So that's how I intend to learn and work with that system. So yeah, that's us. That was everything that I wanted to share with you. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Take care, everyone, and I shall see you all later. Bye bye.